Welcome to In a Nutshell. Today's topic is
marriage a business? Right? That's what we're talking about, right?
That's what we're talking about.
All right, cool.
So we wanted to come to you all and talk about, is marriage a business? Les and I have talked about this many times over and over. We have not been able to come up with an honest conclusion. And so, of course, as a lady, I'm going to go ahead and start us out first by saying marriage is definitely a business. Who the heck would marry somebody that they can't go into good business with? So, Les, you want me to tell you why?
I mean, first, okay, so when you say business, what do you mean by that? You got to be a little bit more specific when you say business, because there are personal businesses, there is financial businesses. Are you in business for financial gain?
That's a good one.
Go ahead.
Okay,
what do you
so
mean? Floor
definitely,
yours.
Most definitely. Anytime you marry someone, you have to consider, is this a good business decision for me? And I think that just like we do anything in life, when we invest money into our retirement for work, we're thinking about what type of investment plan are we going to go into? Is this going to make me money? When we buy a car, we want to consider, am I going to be able to drive this car for a couple of years? How many years am I going to get out of it? So on and so forth. When you marry someone, you're considering the business move of the whole thing. So marriage is not just being in love. Marriage is also financial moves. And so for me, when I'm considering marriage, I want to marry somebody that I can build legacy with. And that includes monetary gain. Now, let me be clear. As a woman, you should be coming to the table with your own finances completely together. But we're going to talk about that.
Okay. Yeah,
but you also want to make sure that you marry a man that's on the up and up too. Because if you marry someone that's bringing you down, that could be a disaster. I know you're ready to rip me to shreds.
No. No, did you land? Are you done?
I'm done. For now. I'm done.
Okay. So, I hear you. I hear what you're trying to say. You want to make sure that the person you are marrying is somebody who's on the up and up. The whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you throw in the word business, you got to take all your emotions out of this, because you don't make any business decisions with emotions.
That's true.
Okay? So we can define what a business is, which is, an entity, involved in professional or commercial activities to gain money. Mm-hmm. That's just like the synopsis of what a business is. Mm-hmm. So what is so professional and commercial? I get the commercial part because people are putting, their stuff on Facebook and stuff, like commercializing their marriages and their
true.
partnerships and
That's
stuff.
True.
Now, when you tell me that a marriage, or when you say a marriage is a partnership, which is a form of a business, I agree with you 100%. But marriage on it, as a standalone, cannot be a business. No, because if that's the point, then two people can come together and say, all right, the business goal here is to make $1 million in 5 years, and every month this is how much we set aside. And you guys can have quarterly meetings, monthly meetings, and go over the paperwork to see and show that you guys you gain some traction and things are heading the right way, and you go ahead and do you, I do me, and
so wait a minute.
We don't have to
Let's talk about why I'm laughing so hard, because Les is kind of he's talking underneath the table, but let's talk above the table for the viewers. When he talks about you do you and I'll do me, talk about that. Go there. What is that? You do you and I'll do me when you consider marriage as a business.
Okay, so when you have a business partner, right? What the business partner does behind closed doors has nothing to do with you. You want marriage is a business, right? So let's take it all the way there. This is why I'm saying you can't mix the two. There's no way you can look at marriage and be like, it's a business for me.
So let me ask you a question.
Hold on. All
right. Because I'm getting all excited.
If that's the case, then if it's really a business decision, I'm only responsible for, my well-being in this partnership, and you are responsible for yours. As long as I'm making money, and it's only leaning toward my personal interest, I'm good. I don't have to be responsible for your emotions, or I can just juke you and I'm out.
So does that mean that, like you're saying, if you were to go into marriage as a business, you are not emotionally responsible at all
At all for my business partners.
for their success?
Their success, yes, because that is kind of aligned to the collective goal here. But in terms of like what she does personally with her life, it has nothing to do with me.
But why couldn't you consider it as just a good business move, but our emotions are still involved as well?
But how do you do business with emotions? That's going downhill fast.
When I say marriage is a business, what I specifically mean is just making a great legacy move. And I think legacy includes finances. It includes potential family. When two people get married and they're coming together, you're considering, what kind of family can I make with this person? Does this person understand the value of family? Do they want to have a successful family? Does this man or woman, do they want to be in the children's lives, so on and so forth? Let's talk about money. Does this person value saving? Does this person value having a home one day or building an empire together, so on and so forth? Let's talk about faith. Does this person value faith? All of these things go into your business decision, but if you're just out here haphazardly marrying the first person that you went on a really great date with and you all had some chemistry and a spark, and next thing you know, you're physically attracted to each other and you figure, well, this would be a good person to get married to. Well, then don't you think that would be a horrible decision?
I just think it's just how you phrasing it. Marriage is a business. Because, I mean, if marriage is a business, is it fair for me to ask my partner, what are you bringing to the table as a man? Asking a woman? Because don't you think I have the right to know who my business partner is?
You got me on that one.
You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying to you is everything you just laid out is true, right? But there is a certain connotation that goes with a statement, marriage is a business. It automatically puts a man in a, oh, she's only here because of the money kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, she's only here because of her own personal financial gain or how she's going to look on the outside to people looking in from the outside. Or she has like a nice fancy car and says, you know, these material things are there, so they must be doing really good in marriage. That becomes, you know,
that's a good point.
So there's a certain connotation that goes with that statement, and that's what I have a problem with. You know, but everything you laid out is true. Like, you want to know if this person is going to be in your kid's life.
Yeah.
You know, your core values are, you know, in line and faith and all that. But that has nothing to do with so you're trying to tell me I'm a Christian. I can't do a business with somebody who is not of the same faith, as long as we're getting money together.
That's true. That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
a
doozy.
Going back to your question, because I like that question. Can a man ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? That is incredibly tacky, rude. No man should be asking a woman, what do you bring to the table? And I keep hearing that question a lot. You know, I'm seeing it a lot like on YouTube, and then of course, naturally, people in person, they want to know, well, what do you bring to the table? I think it's such a tacky question for a man to ask a woman. What are your thoughts about that?
I'm kind of like on the fence with this one, because it's, in today's society, women are more empowered, you know, and women make just as much as men. You know what I'm saying? So this is not like the 60s, you know, where the man had to leave the house and, you know, in the words of Martin Lawrence, kill the water buffalo, bring the water buffalo home. Okay. You know, and the woman takes care of the home. No, like in today's world, you know, the man and the woman both belong to corporate America. They're both making money, and they're bringing the money home. So it's almost as though women being empowered, you know, in this era is a great thing, but with that comes all of these other things. Because I just want to know, are you a woman who is going to rely heavily on me or solely on me financially, or do you have your own thing going? Like, who are you? Because in today's, you can't, there is no way you can just look at a woman and be like, okay, she's just a regular woman. She ain't got no business, or because women are very secretive. You talk amongst each other.
Not that secretive when you're
You
getting
know?
to know a man that you find interesting. You're not that secretive where you're holding back on.
Y'all do hold back though. And go to your girlfriend and spill the beans. But then when it comes to mano a mano, like a man trying to get to know you guys hold back.
Well, but I think, but going to the question of should a man ask a woman, what do you bring to the table? I think that if this man is spending enough quality time with this woman, shouldn't he be able to determine what she brings to the table? Because a woman was never designed to financially bring anything to the table.
But that's not,
that's my opinion, and I know that
never designed.
Tell me shreds for saying that.
What do you mean never designed? When I went to college with women who, we studied the same class and studied the same curriculums, and they're making just as much as me. So when you tell me not designed to be financially responsible for, I'm not saying
carrying the burden and the load and all of the responsibility for the home.
Like a sole breadwinner?
A sole breadwinner, or the person who's just the heavy in the home. I don't think the woman was designed to be that woman. That's not
true.
Her role. That's
true.
a man's role.
Traditionally, yes. Right?
Traditionally and current. But I think currently society has taken roles and reversed them and made them appear as if they're normal.
Because there are women who are making way more than men. If I get engaged to a woman who makes twice as much as me, like how does that even shake out? Mathematically, it doesn't make sense for us to split So then, what you're telling me is it's okay for a man to make more than a woman, right? And then say a man makes twice as much as his wife. He brings in the money, her little share that she brings in takes care of, say, groceries, the kids' clothes, but then the man, he's funding like the 401k, and then taking care of the mortgage. If the tables are turned and the woman makes more than the man,
which most of the time the table is turned now,
how does that shake out? Like, is it fair for a man to be like, well, she makes way more, like I can still pay the mortgage, but what is she doing with all the extra stuff that she got? All the money, is that going towards our 401k, or are you going to be like, well, that's the man. Like, the man has to do that now.
No, absolutely not. How does this shake out? Both people should be putting their money together because, again, marriage is a business. This is a partnership. We're in this together. So it doesn't matter if I make $200,000
and your man makes $100,000
and he makes $100,000. Or let's go even further, right? Let's put it in realistic terms. It doesn't matter if I make, we'll say, $80,000 and a man makes $35,000. That doesn't matter. Together, we got 80 and 30.
110. So you're trying to tell
me.
And
it doesn't.
So are you putting the money in the same pool and be like, okay, this is ours and this is what we're gonna do with the money,
right.
Or are you just straight out of the gate being like, okay, this is my portion. This is what I'm gonna take care of.
No.
And this is your portion, and then whatever happens to like the overage. I set it aside and do my hair and makeup.
When you go into
Louboutins and all that.
When you go into business with someone, right?
Here we go.
You're in the best interest of both parties, the man and the woman. Both of you are trying to do what makes sense for the both of you together. So even if I did make the majority of the money, the person who makes the final decision is who? That would be the husband. Unless, obviously, if he says, you know what, honey, you're a little bit more well-versed in this area than me, I'll let you take over that. But for the most part, I relinquish control to my husband, even if I make way more money than him.
I think that's one of the problems in today's society is that the paradigm has shifted so much, right, to the point where money and power are almost synonymous. They're not the same thing, but they go together, right? So now the women are making money now. There's a certain degree of power that comes with that. And in the household, because we haven't seen this is like, I don't want to say this is the first phase of, what women making more than men. We're not experiencing the first phase of it, but we're still in the motion of it. We're right in the middle of it.
Yep.
The man we don't know how to handle it. And women don't know what to do with all the power that comes with that.
Why do you say that?
Because I feel like women who make more than men, right, automatically, even if you don't think it or say it, at the back of your mind, you're thinking, this man is, beneath me.
No. You know what I think? I think that is the insecurity of men. I think
But
that,
you cannot tell me there
and
are
there's a
no
reason
women who
why.
don't think that. I
I
mean, as
can't.
much as there are women today who are saying that they would never date a 9 to 5er, I guarantee you there are women who there is just as much women who think as long as I make more than a man, right? You know, he's beneath me. Like I was listening to this podcast. I'm not going to shout him out yet, but and there was a girl on there who was like, "Yeah, I make millions, da 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 da." And one of the hosts, who's a man, was like, "So what if your man makes $800,000 a year?"
That's a good question.
And she was like, she had to stop and think. So, from 1,000-foot view, $800,000 is not enough for her. It doesn't even fit in the, the qualifications of a man who would date her. And $800,000 is a lot of bread.
That's a lot of money.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like women are now experiencing this newfound power. That's like, machismo. Like, yo, I have my own money. I can do whatever I want. I really don't think I need a man like that, but for traditional reasons, I'll still go ahead and do it, right? And the men are like, well, for X amount of years, we've been in that, in those shoes, like having more money than our women and, at the helm of the boat and making sure that everything is going on, or just giving the money to our wives for them to take care of the house, and we would just go get the bread and bring it home. So it's really a toss up. I don't think we have the answers yet. But women need to chill, men need to chill, and take a step back and try to understand the dynamics of it and make it work.
I do think both people need to chill, but to your point of women think that they're better, I honestly don't.
That is so true.
I don't think that.
That is so true. You might not think that, but
I think women would be happy just to have a man in the home who can be the leader and he can be the heavy and he can be the man, regardless of who's making what. But I think men put these unrealistic expectations on themselves.
But who made us like that though? Everything we do is because of women.
Give me an example.
We dress nice because of women. We try to get a fancy car because of everything we do. At the end of the day, it's gonna come full circle. Like, you have a nice car now, so now you're attracting more women, or you have like a fancy home.
So now you get more women.
Yeah, and then you don't want to look like a hobo, so you go and get a haircut. And suddenly you're getting pedicures and manis now. And you put makeup on your face. Some men do.
They put makeup on the face.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so I'm like, everything we do is like the primary reason. Well, I mean, I don't want to say the primary reason, but at the end of the day, women have, y'all have something to do with it.
That is very true, but I think that's the unrealistic expectation. First of all, and that's a whole nother topic in itself of the things that people do for like clout chasing or the things that people do for the gram. Most of all, this is a lie. It's not true. It's fake. But it's like a false sense of reality. You think that, or a man in his mind thinks, well, if I just go and finance a BMW, and if I go get this home that I can barely pay for, and if I go get a great pair of shoes and a nice haircut, then for sure I will attract a great woman. When the reality is that the way that you were designed and fashioned, you have your perfect match somewhere out there. I don't think there's just one person. There are multiple people that could be compatible with you. But if you just really worked in your own personal element and you were in your own, if you stayed in your lane, you would attract most similar to yourself. But because men are out here doing the most and trying to prove a point, you are attracting people who you were never designed to even be with. That's a whole nother topic in itself.
But the thing is, there are also women, right? I mean, you gotta understand, like, women are now saying, well, if he doesn't pay your bills, kick him to the curb.
They are. I've heard that, and that's ridiculous.
Okay, so men are, I think some men, right? And I'm not saying this is like a common sentiment for all women, as far as like making sure your man pays all your bills or kick him to the curb. Now, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying when you put that out there, right? These women, that's how social media is, right? They gravitate toward that mindset,
Mhm.
and now the expectation becomes, well, he has to pay all my bills for me now.
So do you feel that men, like going back to our original thought, is marriage a business? Do you feel like there's a unrealistic expectation that's just clamped down on men that says you've got to come along and you have to be able to provide this luxurious lifestyle in order for me to be happy as a woman?
In order for me to even give you a nod as a candidate, potential candidate.
Really?
Yeah.
Give me some real life examples of when you've seen that.
I mean,
or if you see it online, like give me
a perfect example is you can have a 9-to-5 who makes like 150 grand, 200 grand.
That's a lot of money.
$500,000 and all that. It's 9-to-5, but the mere fact that you don't want anything to do with a 9-to-5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to tell me that there are no 9-to-5ers who make more money than entrepreneurs?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me.
So, but here's the deal. Here's the deal, and I'm about to get you right here.
Go ahead.
Who are these women that men are trying to impress? A real woman.
Do we even know what a real woman is anymore?
Woman.
You get me with that, man. A real man, a real woman. Like
a real woman.
Those things don't even matter.
She would not pass up on a man who is a hard worker. He's got great character. He's got a great heart. All because he's not some, like we've talked about, baller, some athlete, some, producer or whatever, some person that's in the public eye. That's ridiculous. That is beyond a real woman. But are men out here trying to impress? Like, for example, we're in a moment right now where, you've got the Instagram model and this and that. Are you out here trying to impress women who are these Instagram models who are portraying that that's what they really want? This lifestyle of luxury that they themselves can't even provide. Is that the kind of woman that you're trying to impress?
So you know me, man. I look at things. Like, I always look for the gray area and try to, make my point, build up my points, from the gray area. So when you say that, right, that means I don't think all Instagram models think that, right? And I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know, not one single Instagram models. I don't know, but this is just me, looking at it, trying to like give both ends of the spectrum, like some benefit of the doubt. So,
but those are the ones that we see with these high-profile men generally.
True.
We see the athletes with these
high-profile women,
high-profile Instagram models.
Yeah.
And I think everyone is trying to create this facade of a life.
They're trying to model their lifestyle after that. That's like the standard right there.
That's right.
And then now women are saying, well, if he doesn't pay me, because that's what these ball players, I don't know what ball players do. But it seems like the way these women be flashing the bags and all that, like he bought me this, he bought me a Bentley truck, all that. Right? So then now, if a man can do it, like a 9-to-5er can buy you a Bentley truck, so you're like, nah, I don't want no 9-to-5er. I want like a dude who is out here balling, who has his own thing going on, and who can buy me Birkins and, the whole 9 yards.
So going back to, is marriage a business? When you're talking about marriage as a man, wouldn't it behoove you to go into business with someone who could actually multiply what you already have, or do you want to be with somebody who's going to decrease what you have because you're out here making bad choices?
I think everything you're saying is accurate. I just wish you would replace the word business with partnership, because that's more realistic than a business. If women are out here thinking marriage is a business, that's easy for us.
Why?
Because I'm not, emotionally responsible for you.
So that means that you can come and go as you please.
That's a very well done.
Can you have a little girlfriend on the side?
I'm doing me, you doing you. You can have a little boyfriend on the side.
That's horrible.
It's a business, right?
Would never have a boyfriend on the side.
It's a business. You said Nahnie, right?
It's a business. You're making good business financial decisions, but you're not out here being emotionally destructive to each other.
The instance you throw in business, that kind of like,
it throws you off.
I'm like, oh, my emotions are out the window. I'm only here for the money.
So would you marry someone just for business? Would you personally do it?
If there's a contract involved, I'll do it.
A prenup. That's a contract.
That's a contract. A prenup is a contract.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there, right there, that's a business.
The prenup.
The prenup. That's. I mean, like what really is in a marriage contract?
It talks the marriage like your.
The decree or whatever it is.
Like what you get signed by your pastor,
Yeah.
like your marriage certificate, or the actual prenuptial agreement if you decide.
The certificate. Nah, the prenup is like.
It just says that you're licensed and legal to get married. The pastor signs it.
It doesn't say anything about emotional responsibility.
No, it doesn't.
Or financial responsibility.
No, it does not.
So why are we putting all of these?
But the vows that you take with the pastor who married you, for better or for worse, rich or poor, sickness and in health.
You know, like I was in the wedding and they were exchanging vows, and when it got to like rich or poor, she said rich or rich. Dead ass. I'm so serious. I was actually in the wedding, and when she said it, like the whole
I know his family
church
was like,
the,
grandma, like,
and they're actually not even together right now.
Get out.
Yeah,
they got divorced. Or
only lasted
separated?
2 years. Divorced.
Boom. Did he lose out on money or? Okay,
yeah,
you have to tell me on offline what
happened. Yeah, he took out some money, you know, from his savings to fund the wedding and whatnot, which I thought, you know, I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah, people do. It's your money. Do whatever you want to do with it. I'm not gonna say it's a bad decision, but you know.
But that's a great example of richer, and then they're not together 2 years later. 2
years later, plummeted down the drain.
So their business went down into kaput.
The business is dissolved.
Okay, so in a nutshell, is marriage a business? Who won this one?
I don't know. Like in a what's your nutshell? Like?
Well, in a nutshell, I would definitely say for sure, hardcore marriage is a business. Love needs to be involved, but let's run them numbers. You know, let me make sure that you got all of your marbles upstairs before we're just out here making emotionally heart-led decisions. You got to lead with your head. Marriage is definitely a business.
In a nutshell,
and I don't know how you couldn't see that.
In a nutshell, I unequivocally disagree with you. I do agree that marriage is a partnership where, like, you got to know the partner, you know, you're getting ready to embark this, you know, lifetime journey with, understand what their core values are, and see what, you know, what kind of similarities you guys share. And then, you know, take it from there. But when you throw in the business, then I feel as though I'm not emotionally responsible for you. So don't come crying on my shoulder when, you know, you hurt by something I did. It's all business, baby.
This is just business.
It's just business. Don't take it personal. You know, it's business. Don't take it personal. So
basically, a man doesn't want to hear that he's just going into business. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
I think it's just a dichotomy of thoughts. You think it's a business. I think it's a partnership, right? And you know, we can agree to disagree. You know, you think it's a business, cool. I think it's a partnership. But when I hear business, maybe it's just because I have a financial background. Maybe.
Probably
maybe,
so.
You know, but when I hear business, I'm like, red light. All right, cool. Emotions, go back in. You know, let's just get this bag and move on with our lives. But I do agree that, you know, I don't agree that it's business, but I think
there's some validity behind it.
It's a partnership for sure.
So if you think marriage is a business, or if, as like
it's a partnership.
If it's a partnership,
put your comments
and thoughts down in the chat. We would love to hear from you. Of course, I'm standing by the fact that marriage is most certainly a business, but Les is not backing me up on this one. So thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you sometime soon on any of our other videos.
Peace, y'all. We out.